Hello, this is wmpyr. I was asked a very interesting question. They were saying, is the Lapu-Lapu Corto knife your new to-go knife? And if so, why? And so here is the Lapu-Lapu Corto, which is, to me, is a beautiful, beautiful knife. And yeah, before I get into that, let me just share with you my philosophy on knives. And actually, this is my philosophy on martial arts, the way that I train as well. I train for improvised weapons. So that means I make anything and everything around me into a weapon. And when I do so, some things weren't even exactly designed to be weapons. So they're not the most comfortable. They're obviously maybe not the most ideal for that situation. But, in a pinch, you're going to do whatever it takes to survive. So in that kind of situation, you have to understand that it's nice to have a knife that's really, really fancy and very, very high quality and is super razor sharp and everything. But if you're always used to that and you're for some reason in a situation where you have to use something that is, not in the quality or the league of what you're used to, you're going to end up fighting yourself, at least in your mind. You're going to be like, oh man, this doesn't feel right in the hand. This is nowhere near as sharp. It just is, there's going to be a lot of problems that are going to be magnified, amplified because of what you're normally used to. It's like someone who is always in limos and Lamborghinis and super expensive cars, and then for some reason they had to go into a Toyota Corolla. A Corolla is not a bad car at all, but it's just, if you're used to super fancy luxurious cars and then you go to that, it's gonna feel brutal to you, and I don't want to be that guy. So I do think it's important to be able to appreciate and to know the limitations of lesser knives, but at the same time, I have nothing against having a special knife for you. And right now, definitely for certain, without a doubt, the Lapu-Lapu Corto is my special to-go knife. And one of the reasons why I like it so much is because the design is 100% comes from this Filipino martial arts. In that sense, there's a lot of Filipino martial arts concepts put into the knife. All right, so let's get into the knife real quick. Yeah, just like I said, there is so much going on with this knife. I mean, just learning about all the features to me is exciting and fun because it has so many features. Most knives don't even have like half the amount of features that this knife has. I mean, we're talking about, this kind of stuff for grip switching, and some people that don't understand the whole indexing, the grip switching stuff, they might think, oh, that's just gimmicky. But no, in the Filipino martial arts, it is a big deal. There's a whole concept behind it, So it's not just for a gimmick. And then back here, we have the reinforced steel put in there for your hammer strikes. I mean, that just makes total sense. And I tested it out, and it feels way more solid of a strike than without it. And then right here, this is for your lanyard hole, and I tested this out too. It fits lanyards much easier this way than something like that. I mean, that's a tight fit, obviously. So this it is very, very functional in that sense. The spoon clip is nice and flat, and like, see how this clip kind of sticks out right there? When you're gripping it really hard, you can feel that, and it may not feel good on some knives. With this one, it's small enough that it doesn't bother me, but on some other knives, you can feel that part that sticks out like that, and this is nice and flat. So it really, when you're holding it, it just kind of blends in with the rest of the handle scales. So that's awesome, and of course the divot right there, goes along with the grip switching, and you could use that also on your pants for retention. Just, place your finger on top of the pant cloth like that, and it just makes retention better. The fact that it sits high gives you very, very nice deployment. So when deploying the knife out of your pocket and working on that, practicing that, I mean, that makes total sense. It's like going back to the samurai where, iaido is not just about using the sword itself, but now you're also using the drawing and the deployment of the sword as part of your tactics, combat tactics. So there's methods where that, as you're doing that, you're also able to attack and defend or be in a better position. So there's strategy involved there. And this goes along with that as well. There are areas on the handle that you could use for actual self-defense techniques and stuff. All the teeth here, I mean, this can just be used for grip, right? And if you are going to, let's say, cut a rope, you could just put a rope right there and it kind of grips it a little bit. And then you could just, I believe Professor Bram Frank calls this the Pac-Man, and you just squeeze down and you can cut rope that way. So there are some interesting ways of usage other than martial arts as well. But obviously, I tend to focus on the martial arts, on the self-defense aspect. That's where I'm fascinated. So this gives you a good grip. And I tested this striking hard and stuff. I hit tires and stuff and gripping it and see, will it shred my hands? And this is all recent. So you can see my hands are completely clean. I don't have any scars or anything from it. And like I said, I tested on a hard tire. I was hitting really, really hard because I found some four really, really huge tires that were relatively new. And the person said they didn't want it, so I took them home and I jump on it and stuff, but whatever. Anyway, I'm sorry to get sidetracked. So this area right here, this can be used for catching and, I mean, scraping and stuff. Of course, this is a striking area, and then this area gives you that nice 3-finger grip right there. This area right here is good for disengaging the lock. And I mean, if I press down on it, I don't have to worry that I'm going to accidentally unlock it because it's not a lock back. The grip design itself, this is the pistol grip type design. And the same idea of grabbing hold with the bottom 3 fingers while your pointer finger is available. So that's why it's kind of like a pistol grip. And the fact that it's not just about going from firearm to knife, which is great, I think, especially if you're in for the self-defense type stuff, but also the idea of that goes also along with the stick. When you are doing certain strikes, you focus on the last 3 fingers so you could put in the snap into the stick. So it handles extremely well, extremely, like if you come from a Eskrima stick fighting background, I mean, it's gonna just blend in with your hand very, very well. I like that. The blade itself, I mean, also the angle, it's putting the blade right onto the target for you. And it's a Persian blade design. Persian swords it's not something to mess with. I mean, those swords back in the day in that area were probably creme de la creme, you know. They're fantastic swords. And yeah, I really like the shape right there. Obviously, you could stab well with it. You could slice and dice so smoothly with this guy. There's a nice swedge on the top right here as well. And and I think the ramp is obvious, and it's been said many times that you can do pain compliance hold, joint locks with it, and then also in the closed position, you know, or open position. The ramp is available. I've always kind of liked that this area right here, not just for controlling limbs, pushing limbs out of the way in this position or in the reverse grip, and the thing about the reverse grip, the ice pick grip, this knife, the way the handle is shaped, it handles very well in that position. I don't feel awkward at all. So anyway, this is, to me, very engaging knife. Most knives, you know, I have to work with their limitations. With this knife, I feel like it encourages me to learn more about the art of knife combat. So 100%, it's engaging, it's beautiful, it's form fits function. So I'm having a blast with it. And big thank you again to Professor Bram Frank for trusting in me to talk about his knife and stuff. So big thank you. Thank you so much. And, thank you all for watching, and take care, folks.